Hi, so far in this training, we have used individual variables. At times, we need to store different data items of same data type in a program. In such a case, instead of creating different variables of same type data, we can use an array. For example, if we want to store marks of 25 students, we can create an array instead of storing marks in 25 individual variables. This will make our program shorter and thus the program handling will become easier for us. In this tutorial, we will learn about arrays. An array is a collection of data that holds fixed number of values of same type. Arrays are of two types, one-dimensional array and multi-dimensional arrays. One-dimensional array comprises of finite homogeneous elements, while a multi-dimensional array comprises of elements each of which is itself an array. In this tutorial, we will discuss one-dimensional arrays only. We will discuss two-dimensional arrays, which is the simplest form of a multi-dimensional arrays later in our training program. So now, let's understand one-dimensional arrays. From now onwards, in this tutorial, we will use the term array for one-dimensional array. The general form of an array declaration is data type followed by array name followed by array size. Here, data type is any valid C data type, array name is a valid C identifier, and array size is the number of elements of same data type to be declared. For example, here we declare an array, marks, of int type and size 5. This array can hold 5 integer values. We can access elements of an array by indices. For example, in the array marks, the first element is marks 0, second element is marks 1, and so on. Now, let's understand how an array is initialized. The general form of initialization of an array is shown on the screen. Here, the values in the list are separated by commas. For example, we can initialize the array marks, which we create in the previous example by writing the statement as shown on the screen. The given values are assigned to each element. For example, marks 1 will be assigned value 4, marks 2 will be assigned the value of 5, and so on. If the number of values in the list is less than the number of elements, then only that many elements will be initialized. The remaining elements will be set to 0 automatically. If there are more initializers than the declared size, the compiler will produce an error. Now, let's understand how we can read and display the elements of an array. We can use a for loop to read and display the elements of an array. For example, here we have used a for loop to read and display the elements of the array marks. We initialize the loop variable I from 0 and let it take the value up to 4. After each iteration, the value of array I is printed on the screen. Let's execute this code in the editor. In the output, we get elements of the array on the screen. We have displayed the array on the screen. Now, suppose we wish to calculate the sum of the elements of this array. This means we need a program which first reads all the elements and then prints their sum. Let's go back to the code and modify it to get the sum of the elements in the output. We add one more variable to store the sum and initialize it with value 0. Next, we add a statement. Sum equal to sum plus marks I. This means once an element is read, that element is added with the previous value of sum. Next, we add the print statement to print the sum. When we execute the code, we get the sum of the elements on the screen. That's it in this tutorial, but we have many more programs for you in the code challenge to practice further. So now, please go ahead and take the code challenge. All the best.